Fusions in Ben 10 have been quite the goober of the series. It's a relatively unexplored concept that the entire fanbase enjoys, myself included. But what really are fusions? This is defined by Google as the process of joining two or more things to become one entity. Seems pretty self-explanatory. But with the strength of the playlists that we have gotten from Ben 10, let's talk about some of the canon ones we've seen. Starting with the Fusionetrix, which is what I call it. This is the damaged Omnitrix that we first saw in the episode Dr. Animo and the Mutant Ray. Ben removed the faceplate and we were able to get a showing of 3 unique fusions from the episode. Firstly is the Tetraman and Lepidopteran fusion, and in theory this should be a cross of Forearms' combat skills and strength and Stinkfly's agility, flight, and slime. But that's not the case. The way fusion of Ben 10 works with this version of the Broken Watch is that it combines both an alien's weaknesses and strength, mixing and matching and creating a balanced version of the species. So instead of being an almost unbeatable speed demon with incredible strength and projectiles, we get an alien too heavy to fly and too weak to truly brawl. Stink Arms is an inefficient combat alien, but our second alien isn't much better. Introducing Diamond Matter. Now, this is the Crystal Sapien and Grey Matter fusion that we get in the show, and in all honesty, it has a lot of potential. He's too small to pack the same punch that Diamond Head does, and chances are that his intelligence is dull, but he still seems pretty balanced in my opinion. And if you were to ask me, Ben just used him wrong. But nothing is as wrong as the final fusion of the episode, which is Heat Jaws, and I personally hate this transformation with a passion. The Pyronite and Pisces fusion goes together like oil and water, being its own source for dehydration for the Ripjaws have, and not being able to generate enough heat to use his fire blasts effectively. This fusion is a death sentence if your name isn't literally Ben Plot Convenience Tennyson. Along with the alien fusions, we are lucky enough to get a few more fusions from the episode as well, such as the Worms and Stinkfly fusions, a Lepidopteran Crab, a Pyronite Bat, and a Lepidopteran Max Tennyson. Let's skip Alien Force and Ultimate Alien for now, and we can talk about the Fusion Lord, Ben 10K Omniverse. He invented the Biomnitrix and uses that to fuse his alien forms, and he doesn't give us funky random transformations like Ben Classic, but he gets prime time fusions. He gives us amazing amped up fusions like the virtually undefeatable Atomic X, a fusion of the Atomics and Alien X transformation, which is an overall powerhouse, but with probably a -10 in omnipotence. We get 2 Humongosaur fusions, which is Humongoopsaur, the gelatinous dino with incredible strength and a versatile slime body, and Formongosaur, a strong-armed titan with incredible strength, and dude, he has 4 arms. We get Crash Shocker, a fusion of Shock Squatch and Crash Hopper, incredible strength and an electronically charged punch. And lastly, of course, we get Big Chuck, the semi-gigantic Upchuck and Uprig, the tech genius that can, I don't know, make a time-traveling bike. Now let's talk about the hybrids from the Antitrix. This watch was made by the Walter and Jesse duo, Kevin and Vilgax, and both of them tag-teaming this idea created an amazing watch that thrives on some of these fusion alien transformations. Now I have my very own theory about how this watch ended up being made the way it currently is, but the alien hybrids are nothing to play around with. Using things like Overflow and Spitter, making Undertow, and even creating a Methanosian and Force Verdance fusion is crazy incredible. But one of the greatest fusions to come from the Antitrix is the Grey Matter or Dark Matter fusion, which consists of, theoretically, Crystosapien DNA, Tetraman DNA, potential polymorph DNA, and even a dash of Pyronite DNA, all mixed together with Corrodium creates a beauty of a hybrid. These kinds of things lead me to think that the Antitrix rivals the Biomnitrix in hybrids. It's alive! It's alive! Now for the Frankenstein fusions of Ben 10. These are some of the less merged and balanced fusions in the series, with a combination of traits sort of like Frankenstein. We start with the first ever Frankenstein fusion, which is Kevin 11. He absorbed the Omnitrix data back in the episode that is his namesake. He proceeded to use his abilities to commit crimes in the verse, and in the fated clash between him and Ben after getting a 4-course meal of knuckle sandwiches, he tried to become that guy and ended up becoming corrupted. He was able to double down on the power of his fusion abilities though, and became able to take full advantage of the synergies that each ability would have, turning him into a beast. Still wasn't enough for Cannonball though. Now, instead of possessing a single alien ability at a time, he had only a 10th of each alien's power. So for Ben in Alien Force, we get to see another amalgamation alien fusion between Spider Monkey, Humongosaur, and Swampfire in the form of the Nalgene Destructor. Now, this piece of level 20 technology created by a whole other race, and wait, I already made a video on that. Go check it out. It also shot lasers, but let's not talk about that. In the Ultimate Alien series, we explore more Frankenfusions through the Osmosian race. When Agregor completed his absorption of the Andromeda 5, we see a perfectly well-rounded battle machine. He was able to take out both Classic and Ultimate Alien Ben solo, until Ultimate Kevin stepped in, who became the complete fusion of the Ultimatrix, and he was an extreme terror. Moving on to even Omniverse, we get 2 versions of the Kevin amalgamation, one from 11-year-old Ben and another from Omniverse Ben in the Router saga. And of course, in the reboot, we get quite a few fusions from the episode where the Fulmini try to invade Earth, where we get to see Grandpa Max and Gwen in their alien forms, along with Ben in an amalgamation fusion form. This was only able to take place because they ventured into the Omnitrix in order to stop the impending invasion, and we also got another hybrid, which was Glitch, the half mechamorph, half human artificial Omnitrix creation. We also got 2 very wonky fusions that honestly give me nightmares. Kinda goofy if you ask me. Along with that, we get to see Anti-Vilgax, who has an amalgamation transformation of all the hybridized DNA samples in the Antitrix, before he ends up becoming Alien V, the Celestial Sapien Chimera Sui Generis fusion. But where do all of these guys stand in a ranking? I let my boy Ask Air do a short ranking of some of these fusions.
Now that my man Grey Matter Fanboy has gone over his opinions, let me give you my top 5 best Ben 10 canon fusions from worst to best. Not only is the design for Heat Jaws practically perfect, but the combination is just too hilarious to not mention. Combine the alien who can't live without water with the alien whose weakness is water, not to mention the design of just a random fire coming out of Ripjaw's head. Overall, not the strongest one on this list, but definitely the most ironic. Almost a secondary job of fusion should be an element of irony, from bringing 2 different aliens with their own baggage together. The design for Stink Arms is kind of freaky. 2 of my favorite classic aliens put together made me really prefer this one over the other classic fusions. Forearms delivers the brawn with this one, while Stinkfly brings flight and slam attacks to the equation. While it may be hard for Stinkfly's wings to carry Forearms as heavy weight, I think this alien has a lot of applications in fights. Stink Arms could do a maneuver where he flies towards an enemy and drops down onto him with his muscular arms extended into a fist. Totally epic one. Upright can definitely fix a situation involving tech. He can fix tech and merge with it. Basically, give him any piece of scrap metal and you'll probably have a functioning battlecruiser ready to go within 30 seconds. I see how they complement each other, kinda like a Chromastone and Upchuck situation. But couldn't they each accomplish the same things by themselves? I'm pretty sure Upgrade could also fix tech the way Jury Rig could, and Jury Rig could probably control any tech he fixes. Just throwing that out there. Humongosaur, as he's called, combines 2 of my favorite Alien Force aliens, Dino Mighty and Goop, into an interesting looking blob with a giant dino presence. I guess the only added ability with this one would be that Humongosaur's massive size and strength are complemented by Goop's shapeshifting and invincibility. That makes Humongosaur even more indestructible. Atomic X, while kinda overhyped and underused in the series, is by far Ben's most powerful canon transformation. He has the unlimited powers of Alien X, combined with all the nuclear fallout that Atomics is capable of. No need for Serena and Bellicus either, because the fusion gets rid of them altogether. Pretty much an OP master control alien that should never fall